neighbours cry, who you gonna meet till?
This is London. Napoleon said that Britain was a nation of shopkeepers, and right or wrong, London is a market.
Painting the roses, smell them. Not every piece half a dozen. And to add, there's the cups, a lip-shaped cup. When you drink your tea, your lip fits the cup. Your nose doesn't go in it. It's burnished gold, burnished handle, hand-painted, and every piece guaranteed. It's half a dozen. You can do as you like with those. You can throw those at the old man, and they'll bounce back. Guaranteed. And to add, there's the plates. It's half a dozen. Look, every piece is burnished gold. Quality. Do as you like.
Oh, watch out. All the neighbours cry, who you gonna meet? Bill, and you walk the street, Bill, not I. Walk through the dive, knocked him in the old den road.
£5 and it's yours, whoever wants it. But, just a moment, sir. I don't want your £5. I won't sell one. I'll pack them in a bag. I can get hold of that set. I could smash them to 1,000 pieces. And I'd realise more money for the broken pieces. Upon the scale, the first hand gets it, the complete set. I'll smash them and realise more. The fun customer, the lot. £4. Gentlemen.
How it is, what with one thing and another.
Chas and Dave, two contemporary Cockney musicians who regularly entertain in traditional style and setting. They write all their own material, but freely acknowledge a debt to the music hall that once voiced and fostered the Cockney dialect.
And I can remember a case where I was miles up in the desert, Organ, on the other side of the brook somewhere. And there was a young, I'd been out there 4 years then, and there was a young lad, you know, and I heard him speaking, so I said, "Where do you come from?" So he said, "London." I said, "I know you do." I said, "But whereabouts in London?" He said, "Bethnal Green." I said, "I knew that."
I mean, Bethnal Green was with the F. I mean, you take it which way, either one F or two Fs. You can take it which way you like, you know what I mean? And that's how it was years ago.
Today, they're much more modern than I am. They say Bethnal Green.
I've got grandchildren today, I'm afraid to talk to them because they're so posh here. They, "Hello, grandfather, how are you?" So I say, "Well, hello, pal, how are you getting on, girl, all right?" And this is it today, isn't it, really?
It's everyday talk now. It isn't be sort of, we used to say apples and stairs and things, apples and pears and things like that. They don't use it there. It's everyday things, little catchphrases at the end of sentences and things like that. I mean, they use the word, "you see," or "all right." On the end of every sentence, it's "all right" or "you see," you know, always stuck on the end of a thing. That's right, yeah. Yeah, and if they want to talk to you, you know, they say, "hang on a minute." You know, it's all little catchphrases now, instead of saying apples and stairs and apples and pears and all things like that, you know. It's died out now.
Say you take your overcoat off and you put it up on the rack in a pub and you say, "Look after my smother for me, Fred." Well, it's your overcoat, you know what I mean? And you might have your twirls in your pocket.
What's that?
Bunch of keys. And amongst the screwsmen, they go out and say, "Where's me glim? Where's me glim?" Well, that's his torch.
You still use those?
Not so very often these days. They're all inside doing bird now, aren't they?
I mean, if I turn around to Ronnie, I say, "Look, I've got hold of this, I get something, I say, I want to knock this out a bit sharp." You know what I mean?
That's straight away they turn around and say, "What, you had it off?"
Yeah.
I think you've had something fell off the back of the lorry.
I mean, we talk like that now. I mean, all the time we're in the pub here, like, they're coming and say, "I want to knock this out quick," like, you know, we wants to buy it, you know. And all things like that, I mean, we know. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say it. I mean, no, we're all straight here, we're all crooks here.
As these new Cockneys settle into life and language, rehousing has uprooted many EastEnders from their traditional home and deposited them in the Essex commuter belt. The suburbs of Gants Hill and Chigwell are a far cry from Bethnal Green or Bow, so we spoke to two families to find out how Cockney was faring in this new environment.
With Cockney, it's an accent that over the years, say rich people or posh people, they tend to think it's common. It's not an accent. Now, if you come, say, from the North Country with a North Country accent, it's not a common accent, is it? But Cockney has always been thought of as common. than common people from the East End.
Marks and Spencers, they laugh at me, the managers and that, because I talk funny. They said,
Well, they told you that you'd never get anywhere, didn't they?
They didn't say I wouldn't get anywhere, they just said that they think it's funny the way I talk.
It's always funny to somebody who can speak properly. It's very funny, but...
They like it, though. They
course
say
they
to
do.
me, say something, and I say it, and they all
Oh,
laugh.
they love it.
I think it's good.
They think it's a joke.
And, you know, I like it. I like them to think it's funny.
I don't believe that they realise that this is the way I usually talk.
Yeah.
When you see the kids coming out from school, you listen to them, the Cockney is there, the dropping of the H's and the T's and the rolling of words into one, perhaps not so pronounced as me.
You could be a Cockney in certain ways, but not in others. I mean, you could be a Cockney in general, but in a whole district you cannot be a Cockney if you're foreign and you come into an area like this. I mean, you can only consider yourself as a half a Cockney, not truly as a Cockney. Isn't it? Yeah.
What, are you a Cockney?
Yeah, I believe I am, yeah. Like, because I've grown up in the area and everyone I speak to is a Cockney, like, so I believe myself as a Cockney. It's one of them. Like,
What is he?
well, to me he's a Cockney, but to himself he might not be a Cockney.
Do you think you're a Cockney?
No,
Why not?
because I can't get the right sound, you know. So,
What language do you speak with your family?
Bengali,
What about your family? What language do they speak?
Greek,
What do you speak with them?
Greek always.
So what do they think of you speaking Cockney the way you are now to me?
Well, they can't understand because my mum can't understand English.
If I want to relax when I'm talking to a person, I just speak Cockney because it's come natural to me because I brought up in the area. But otherwise, you're just the same as anybody else. And a matter of fact, I would rather live in this type of area than live with a posh person.
Why?
They're more themselves. They're more outspoken. But as a posh person, he's always something what he isn't. He always puts it on, always.
What he's famous for is punctuality. The whole world takes its time from Greenwich. but Greenwich, they say, takes its time from Admiral Boo. What's your Admiral?
Good afternoon to you, young man. Where are you bound?
Number 17. Got some parties here in tow. What wants to see it?
Enter that in the log. Aye, aye, sir. A word of advice, young man. Storm signals are up at number 17. Bit of heavy weather brewing there.
Thank you, sir. Keep an eye skinned. Here we are. Number 17, Cherry Tree Line. Residence of George Banks, Esquire. Hello, hello, hello. Admiral's right. Heavy weather brewing at number 17 and no mistake.
I think the first movie that Americans saw you in and recognized you in was Alfie.
Yes.
And it was remarkable for the movie, but also for Alfie's Cockneyness. This was, I think, the first time that we had seen this in America. And I'm curious that the Cockney is your natural...
Cockney is my natural dialect, yeah. I am a Cockney, yes. I mean, this isn't it. This is just a general London accent. If I spoke Cockney, you wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about.
But it interests me that among the other great actors of your generation, say Roger Moore and Connery to an extent, O'Toole, they all kind of adapted, a kind of a more posh accent. You have stuck with this.
Yeah, that was deliberate on my part. I was always very aware of the class in system in England. And so when I became a success, I sort of shoved it down their throat and continued to talk like I did. And it was to encourage other people from working class backgrounds to say that they could do it. Because it's very difficult to explain to an American a social system where you have to remember, when I grew up, every actor talked posh. All plays and movies were about middle class or upper class things. It was all bunties having a party, let's go up to London, and everyone was in tennis shorts and rackets. And I came from a place where everybody was getting beaten to death by gangsters and there was crap everywhere, and so it was, you never thought of being an actor because you didn't, first of all, you didn't talk properly. Everybody said that to me. You didn't talk properly, but I kept the accent in the hope that it would sort of break down the class barrier and say to young people like myself, you can do it. You don't have to be an actor. Anything you can do. It doesn't matter how you speak.
What's your ring with my stockings?
Move over a bit then.
Oh!
Get your knee off the steering wheel.
I can't. I'm stuck.
Here, look out. I'll do it.
Oh! That hurt.
I told you before to be careful where you put your legs.
I was only trying to be helpful.
I can help myself. Hello? They never make these cars big enough, do they? Well, you all settled in? Right, we can begin. My name is...
Alfie.
Alfie.
We're closed. Tell him, Terry.
Yeah, we're closed, sir.
Hello, Terry. He'll have a lettuce and I'll have a Bloody Mary.
George?
That's right. And this is Arthur.
What are you doing here?
Looking for Maltwell, Terry. Bit of work, What do you do now?
Whatever comes up.
Yeah, but this is a knocking shop.
Leave it out, George.
So where is he?
Maltwell?
Yeah.
It's not around.
Well, he must be somewhere.
You better ask Dudley, George.
Through there. Cheers. Expecting me? Knew I was out?
I suspected it, George.
So where is he?
Where's who?
Maltwell.
He's away, George.
South of France. He owes me, Dudley. He said he'd look after me.
He said a lot of things, George.
Well, next time you see him, give him that.
Hey, George. George. Come on. Look, we need a driver.
I'm a driver.
Do you know what a believer is?
A what?
You look like a great Peruvian ponce, that's what you look.
Don't worry, Dad. You can get away with murder now.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, Michael lend you a bow tie.
Oh, yeah. Look, look at that. It's disgusting. Look what you see right through to your belly button. Look, it's all holes in it.
Well, are we all ready? I'm getting hungry.
Oh, my God. Gordon Bennett, what does she look like? What do you look like? Ken Dodd, that's what you look like.
When the paper boys half an hour late, when the pigeons are pecking at his seeds, when the farmer starts digging up his beef, Arsenal preaching, that's the old man game. I'm a going back a few years, when punters knew a bit about beer. If it was a Curry's best, that's when you'd hear this strange protest. Funny glasses with a little piece of ice. Anything that comes with lemon in a slice. Fancy cocktails that are shaken and not stirred. Drinks with cherries in that make you look absurd. With your finger cocked to leave your friends impressed. Anything that ain't a pint of Curry's best. Mine's a pint of best.
Remember a pint of best. Courage do.
East End Cockney is still above all language used in the streets. Here catchphrases are swapped and slang evolves with a constant invention. Inspiration coming from every walk of life and all forms of popular culture.
My East End jargon, I was born with it. My thieves jargon I picked up basically once I joined the police force. You could walk into a place, to a pub one night, see someone, say to him, seen Charlie about? He'd say, no, Governor, a bit of aggravation. And you say, oh, yeah, what happened then? He said, oh, he was at the Whisper down the Wick and he's got a carpet. Now, that is the sort of the phraseology that people expect us to use. What he is saying, he was either at the Whisper or the Whiz. The Whisper is a racing trick where you go around whispering to people. There's 6 horses in the race, and you whisper, number 4, don't forget, and number 2, and you tip every dog in the race to 6 different people. One of them must be the winner. And then when you go back afterwards, you find the one who you tipped the winner to, and you go back, you must say, well, what about me drink then, you know? And you're on an earner every race, you must be. It's one of those things. Well, if he was at the Whisper or at the Whiz, dipping the pockets down the Wick, which is Hackney Wick, he's got himself a carpet, which means he got arrested, as they say, nicked official, and he got 3 months.
In the East End of London, the establishment speaks the same language as the underworld. To the uninitiated, it's understandably confusing, but the Sweeney and the Tea Leaf meet on common ground.
And I says to him, well, such and such a job, you know, as far as I'm aware, down to you. He said, oh, yeah, marvellous, isn't it? He said, I suppose someone's been on a trumpet, now I'm a dot on the card. Which, to me, I knew what he was talking about. Was when he said someone's been on the trumpet, it meant someone had informed on him. Someone had phoned me up, told me who he was, and he said, no, he was a dot on the card, which is a racing parlance. You know this phraseology, gets your card marked? You know, well, that comes from the racing, you know. Put a cross down beside the ones. Well, a dot on the card meant he was first favourite for the job. And I knew exactly what he meant. If he was saying to me that someone's given you information that I had done it, and you having got that information, I must certainly to go down for this one. Strange enough, he pleaded guilty, eventually.
Now, many of you here tonight will know that Cain and Abel and Hampstead Heath are Cockney rhyming slang. Cain and Abel means table, and Hampstead Heath means teeth. We are glad to welcome tonight a large group of Cockney worshippers to Evensong, and it is to them that I wish to address my sermon. I want to tell you a story. A long time ago, in the days of the Israelites, there lived a poor man. He had no trouble and strife. She had run off with a tea leaf some years before, and he now lived with his eldest bricks and mortar, Mary. And being very short of bees and honey, unable to pay the burden on Trent, he was tempted to go forth into the Bristol city and see what he could half-inch. He would say to Mary, his bricks and mortar, I will take a ball of chalk into the town and buy some tobacco for my cherry ripe. And he would put on his almond rocks and his dicky dirt and his round the houses and set off down the Frog and Toad until he reached the outskirts of the Bristol. And people would stare at him, for his dicky dirt was torn. His howdy-doos were full of holes. And his coat was very Westminster Abbey. He was also somewhat unclean, being too poor to purchase any Cape of Good Hope. His bushel and peck was extremely 230. And people passed by on the other side to avoid the pen and ink. He was truly an ugly man. His north and south drooped, his mince pies were watery, and he had a big red I suppose. One day his bricks and mortar gave him some money, saying, "Here is a saucepan lid, go and buy food, a loaf of Uncle Fred and a pound of standard ease. But do not tarry in the town, and bring me back what is left of the money to buy myself some new underwear. I need a new pair of early doors. For my present ones are full of holes, and I am in a continual George raft." But instead of returning with the bees and honey for his bricks and mortar's early doors, he made his way to the rubber-dub for a tumble down the sink and indulged himself freely on the bottle. And he became very Elephant's Trunk and Mozart. And when the landlord of the rubber-dub called Bird Lime, the man set off back towards his cat and mouse, reeling about all over the Frog and Toad and drunkenly humming a stewed prune. And it came to Khyber Pass that as he staggered along, he saw on the pavement a small brown Richard III. And he stared at it, lying there at his plates of meat. And he said, "Oh, small brown Richard III, how lucky I did not step on you." And he picked it up, and he put it on top of a wall where no one could step on it. And a rich 4x2-ish merchant, who witnessed the deed, put his hand into his skyrocket and took out a Lady Godiva and handed it to the man, saying, "I saw you pick up that Richard III and remove it from the pavement, and that was a kindly act. Take this Lady Godiva for your froth and bubble." The man took it and went on his way, and the Richard III flew back to its nest. Now, when the man arrived home, his daughter was sitting by the Jeremiah on her favorite Lionel Blair. And she arose angrily and said, "Once again you come home, Elephant's Trunk and Mozart. You have spent all the money I gave you. Now I cannot have my new pair of early doors. Neither can I have wine, as you do." And the man said, "Fear not, here is a Lady Godiva, which I earned by a kindly act." And the woman was overjoyed and said, "Thank you, father. Now I can have my pair of early doors. Verily, that kindly act has ensured that I have more than enough to cover my bottle and glass."
And the radio. Here, you got a bloke in there, ain't you?
It's none of your damn business.
You pick him up cheap too?
There is no one in there.
Blimey, I never tumbled. I honestly thought you had a headache. What a mug I've grown into.
Alfie, get out of here. I have a splitting headache.
Why him better than me? What's he got that I haven't, apart from long hair? Well, come on, let's have it. What's he bleeding got?
He's younger than you are. You got it?
He's younger than you are. That's what she said. Anybody think I was doddering about on bleeding crutches? Trouble is, I still keep thinking about her. I can't get her out of my mind. Who'd have thought a ruddy great lust box like her'd have found her way into anybody's feelings? She might have looked a hard case, but underneath she was quite mumsy. And she was in beautiful condition. Do you know, I'm beginning to think she was beautiful. After all, it ain't through the eyes that you feel beauty. It's how the heart hungers for something that makes it beautiful. Oi! Siddy.
Alfie. Hello.
I ain't seen you in ages.
You didn't turn up.
Oh, look, I can explain that. I know I've missed you. I like that gear. Where you going? I got the car around the corner. What about it?
No, I can't. I'm going to meet my husband.
It's nice material. Still, you always was a snappy dresser. What about Sunday, then?
No, I'm not sure.
Come on. Same time, same place.
We'll see.
I'll wait for you for about 5 minutes.
Don't forget your napkin.
Yeah, I'm like the Boy Scouts, I am. Always prepared. See you then, eh?
Maybe.
You know what? When I look back on my little life and the birds I've known, and think of all the things they've done for me and the little I've done for them, you'd think I'd had the best of it all along the line. But what have I got out of it? I got a bob or two, some decent clothes, a car. I got my health back, and I ain't attached. But I ain't got me peace of mind. And if you ain't got that, you ain't got nothing. I don't know. It seems to me, if they ain't got you one way, they got you another. So what's the answer? That's what I keep asking myself. What's it all about? Know what I mean?
What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give?